So, a lot of people have asked me lately, how do you read so many books? And the answer isn't in what Brittany does. So, basically what Brittany does is this. She watched a YouTube video once, and she was told that she could read any book in 2 minutes. So, all she has to do for this is get the book, and then look at the cover, and then look inside the table of contents, read that, and she's read the book. And she did this with The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and now she tells everyone that she's read the book. But the problem with this is that nothing that Brittany read resonated with her. So if you read, let's say, habit number 4, think win-win, that doesn't really mean anything to you until you hear about a person in business who used that to grow his business into something great. And I'm not saying do what, who should we pick now? Bill. Do what Bill does. So what Bill does is he has to read every single word in the book. Every single word. And if he misses something, then he thinks he hasn't read the book. If he misses the part where, like the author dedicates the book to his wife or something, he thinks that he hasn't read the book. So I'm not saying that, but what I'm talking about is you have to know the stories behind the principles for them to really resonate with you. So here's one of the greatest changes that I have made in my life. And usually all the changes that I make are really strategic. They come from strategy, but this is sort of tactics, like a really pragmatic tip for what you can do. So basically I looked at my life and I realized, well, I always have, every day I have an hour of mundane stuff. So that can be when you wake up and you get ready for work, or driving to work, or your lunch break, or when you take a bath. And basically I realized there was an opportunity for me to use that time to develop myself. So here's how it would work with some of my friends. So a lot of my friends drive 30 minutes to work and 30 minutes back. So what you can do is pick a book, and let's again pick The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and that will be a book that's about 10 hours, let's say. So what you do is you put it at 2x the speed, which is pretty much double the tempo. So that gives you 5 hours of listening time. And I've listened to so many books like that, it's not too fast. So you listen to that, and the total listening time is 5 hours. So what that person can do is listen to it on the way to work and on the way back, and he's listened to an hour in 1 day. So in 5 days, he will have finished the entire book. And there's always that one person that's going to be, well, I don't have a 30-minute drive. Neither do I, but look at your daily activities, where you do the mundane things, and use those. So I do it when I take a bath, and when I eat lunch, and that sort of a thing. And this is really, really powerful. You can read books in 3 to 5 days. And instead of being on your way to work and thinking about how your boss is going to be an asshole yet again, you can be doing that. So the two issues that I come across with this, and this is only 10% of the people, or I'd say even less, that do this, are the following. The first one is, I always have one person tell me, that's too much. Why are you straining yourself, dude? Like, that's way too much. And they say something like, I read a couple of books every year and I'm fine with that. And that's okay, I'm not going to criticize that. But that's what I do when I play tennis, for example. So I play tennis a couple of times a month. But I would never go up to a professional tennis player who's passionate about what he does and tell him, dude, why are you straining yourself? Just relax. You don't have to practice that much. It's the exact same thing. And reading is something that I'm most passionate about because it has really transformed my life. With every book that I read, I become happier. I become financially stronger, physically stronger, emotionally stronger. And the second issue that I come across with sometimes is this whole thing of, I call it pseudo-aristocrat problem. basically a person that read a bunch of Mark Twain back in the day or whatever. And he tells you, you know, if you don't read a book, then it doesn't count. And I have done both. I've read many books and I've listened to many books, and I can tell you there's pretty much no real difference in doing either one. And you have nothing to be ashamed of. Think about it this way. You're having a conversation with one of the greatest minds that ever existed. One of the greatest minds. And someone's telling you that's not the right way to do it. Come on. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. And finally, I want to end it with, this is something that I've done a lot of research on. And I've practiced it, I've tried different methods, and this is something that has been one of the most helpful things that I have done. So if any of you have advice on how you do things that can help me, and not only just me, but everyone else in regards to this, please share so everyone can benefit.